Hello and welcome everybody to the JJ and Pug Show. It is March 25th, 2025, 3/25/25. As of 5 days ago, I've been married for 15 years. Congratulations to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big step, dude.
Yeah, 15 years. It's funny, like, I feel like these little milestones shouldn't be as big a deal. Just because it's like, well, I did plan to get married to this one person for forever, which we spoke about the last time around. But at the same time, like, it's kind of a big deal. I should celebrate it, right?
Yeah.
Guess what I did?
Nothing.
No, in fact, this is what I did. My wife stayed home and I took my kids to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, is that where you went?
That's what we went, yeah.
Oh,
by the way, we're recording from the Highland Communities Podcast Studios, and this is a throwback.
So
this is
good.
early 90s, late 80s. It's got to be, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was 93.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that. Something
feels
like that.
so right.
Yeah.
That feels so right. This is Jason's submission. Clay Walker. Until I Die? I don't know what it is.
It is actually
Live Until I Die? That's what it is. Live Until I Die.
I was listening to it at the table when you sent me that text message because I noticed I was going through my playlist, or the added feature on Apple. I'm like, oh, like these are new. Who downloaded Clay Walker? And and it's one of these songs where like you're like, I know this song, and you can't say it, and as soon as it starts playing, you're like, oh, yeah. I know every word of the song.
What's so funny is like I have never been a country music listener ever. But these songs just take me right back to my childhood because they were on the radio. They were in people's cars. This is what was being listened to. Also, do you ever remember the movie Pure Country?
Oh, yeah.
This is what I think of when I think of Pure. And listen, not a country music fan. I love Pure Country. That was a good one.
That was a great movie.
Absolutely was. George Strait, look it up, guys. It's a good one. Solid. Okay. Let's see. So last week, going back. We were supposed to record last Wednesday, and then I got a invite to go to a Suns game. It's free Suns tickets. So I was like, you know what? My son's been begging me to go. I'll ask him if he wants to go. Of course he wanted to go. He was on spring break. So I got, hey, we're going to have to cancel recording this week, so I apologize for all y'all who were expecting it. But took him to the Bulls-Suns game.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Dude, it was awesome. It was awesome because this was his first game ever. We had pretty solid seats. And Devin Booker went for 41 points, scored 20 in the fourth quarter to put us over the top. I tell you what, dude, I couldn't have asked for a better game for him, the experience.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did he like it?
Oh, he will tell you all the time it was the best day of his life. He said it multiple times. Dad, this is the best day of my life. Which is kind of like cool. At the same time, it's like, wow, man, how low is that bar? It was just a Suns win.
So I had to adjust the video on this. It started recording at the wrong thing, so it may be two different views. It'll swap in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, but it's good now. But
we'll fix it. No big
deal. Not a big deal. Sorry.
Anyway, so
good for him. That's fun. That's a good game to go to.
Oh yeah,
hey, the Suns are going to make the playoffs.
Shut up. I know. Trust me. I thought that last night. So I'm watching the game right after Devin Booker hits a game winner with 1.6 left on the clock. Mm-hmm. I texted my nephew, super fan, David, and I'm like, I effing hate this team. Just when I was ready to write them off and like, okay, I don't care anymore, they go on a winning streak of real hard games. Like, okay, the Bulls aren't a big deal. The Raptors aren't a big deal. Oh, excuse me, beating the Cavaliers the way they beat them, that was a huge deal. And then to come back and beat the Bucks last night, but I'll tell you this, I have no belief that we're going to win the next game.
No, but who knows?
I think the Celtics are the next game. Again, I didn't see him beat the Cavaliers at all.
It doesn't matter. All you have to do is get in. If you can get in and they start playing hot towards the end and they get in,
and then we can get beat real bad by the Thunder.
Or we could upset a lot of teams.
It's not going to happen. That I feel so confident because guess what I found out today? Guess who's not playing again? Bradley Beal. And guess who's not played a minute of this win streak? Bradley Beal.
We talked about this, bro. He's on the Joel Embiid plan. He got paid.
Yeah.
Hang out, be injured, come out for a little bit, injured again,
and there's
win an MVP.
Yeah, that's the thing. Bickley and Murata on their Twitter asked, like, okay, what's the most frustrating thing of the season? Which, by the way, this isn't the sport podcast, but we're in it. And my answer was the most frustrating thing of the season is that we're completely giving Bradley Beal a pass for how much of a drain he's been on this team because he says the right things. Joel Embiid doesn't get a pass when he's got an actual injury, real bad injury history, and an MVP award. The guy has actually been an MVP, and he doesn't get the pass that Bradley Beal does. All right. Want to get that out of there.
It seems like you're a little hot about that.
Yeah, well, quite hot about it, actually. So we'll move past that. We'll talk about Suns another time. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was just looking at the list here. One of the things we have here was a question based off of the last show we did about divorce. And the question was, how many divorces would you still be okay if you were to start dating somebody with a possibility of marrying? Now, you already said that you're not getting married again. If things don't work out for whatever reason.
I've tried. Nope.
It's not happening again.
Baskin Robbins, baby.
Well,
hey, to each their own, buddy.
Yeah, it's true.
At that point, I'm like, I don't care.
Okay, but this is the conversation I've had many times. And my answer is probably going to be offensive to people who fall in this category. Anybody who's had one divorce, you can fully excuse it. You can fully say, listen, you know what? Maybe you just married the wrong person. You were from a small town. You married your high school sweetheart. Whatever. Maybe you didn't know the person when you got married. Maybe jumped in a little too fast. There's a myriad of reasons as to why a first marriage wouldn't work, right? So you can excuse it in all ways. I can even excuse the second one because first one doesn't work. You've never been alone before.
You jump into something a little quick.
You jump right in.
Yeah.
You jump right in. Oh my gosh, I made a huge mistake. I can't believe I let myself do it again. Then you get out. Okay. As if it's a third one. That to me is when it's like,
maybe
hold
you're
up
the problem.
now. Yeah. Like, that is it. It's going to be offensive to some people that are in that category. And I know them and I love them. But at the same time, there's a lot of, hold on now. Where do you think the problem lies? And I don't know. I hope to never have to find out where I actually stand on that. But it was a question. I wonder where you'd be.
I don't think it matters. I mean, I guess like after 3, I think 3 is a solid number. If you're into 3, 4 marriages, you got to start looking inside and be like, maybe I'm the problem here, right? Like, but I don't know. Do something like if you got to figure really like if the first marriage was a 2-month or 2 year, like a quick little bada bing, bada boom, and then you're so used to being married, you do it again. You get divorced a third time. I don't think you should. Why would you want to get remarried?
Now, that is the real question right there. At what point do you say, listen, you know what? I've tried this. I'm meant to be alone.
Yeah, like you need to be alone. You're just not married anymore. Like, I'm not trying it. Like, I can have living girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Like, I don't need to have somebody that I need to be married to and spend $33,000 on average.
Yeah. And the untold billions, by the way. Yeah. Trying to give my son his pacifier here. He's hanging out in the studio with us right now. Got a little baby here. We'll show him in the next one. But right now he needs a...
So I don't know. I guess it just depends on the person and whatnot. But I mean, is it really that big of a deal? No. But I would say after 3, if I'm dating somebody and you realize this will be their 4th marriage or their 5th marriage, you're like,
You got to do some thinking. You got to do some thinking. Okay, come on, dude.
Uh-oh, little man's going to be upset. This is the beauty of having kids.
Trying to
have kids, they said, in your late 30s. It'll be fun, they said.
Trust me, if that was a choice, I would have made it earlier in my life. Okay, so just
why? Then you're just sad. Your kids are growing up and they don't care about you and you're not 40 yet.
No, but at the same time, this kid, when he turns 12, I'll be 50.
Yeah, you didn't think that through. You better stay in the weight room.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I can't let this kid be stronger than me when he's in high school. No freaking way, man.
His old man strength comes into play at 50, though, bro. Like, then you just all of a sudden you're always stronger.
I honestly feel like that's where I'm at now. But anyway, okay. So quick, here's a question for you. Okay, so what do you think right now is the divorce rate on your first marriage? Percentages of first marriages that end in divorce.
39.6.
Very close.
That's
very
a total
close.
Guess.
According to Google AI, which is their reference is divorce statistics. Okay, first marriages end in 41%. Very close. 41%. Bro, chill out, man. Talking to the baby, by the way.
Milk.
Oh yeah, actually getting close. It's getting close. Sorry, bud. Mom's got to figure that one out. All right. How much?
41%.
41% of first marriages. What do you think the percentages of second marriages that end in divorce?
62.
Bro, did you read these numbers before?
No, I did not. I can't. My list isn't even up. I can't even get in.
So second of the marriages, 60% of the time. You are astonishing
and my theory is, my reasoning is because everybody's scared of the first time. The first divorce, can I survive? Can I whatever, right? I think if you're going through it or thinking about going or whatever, those are thoughts I'm sure you entertain, right? But then you get divorced and you're like, hey, I survived. I'm good. I just think it becomes easier to pull the trigger, which is probably why there are second and third marriages on both sides where they get married, is because people realize that I don't have to stay in this I guess I don't have to try if I don't want to because I've made it before I can make it again. And that doesn't make it right or wrong or indifferent. I'm just saying that I think
it makes it understandable.
It makes it where like, hey, look, I don't need, because I got to imagine if I got divorced and I got remarried, heaven forbid, like there would be a prenup in place. There would be things to say, look,
wait,
I'm not.
Hold on. You think there would be?
I'm saying I would be.
Okay.
Yep. And establishing like, listen, we can be married by law. We can have all the, with the name stuff and whatnot. But here it is.
But you're not taking from my kids.
You're not taking anything from me anymore. Like I had to do that the first time. You're not taking anything this time. And nor do I want any of yours. You can have a prenup too. Like I'm good. I don't need your stuff, but we can live together, be cordial. But if you think it's like, if it comes down to something happens or it just falls apart, I'm not going to go through this whole like, all the attorneys and all this, because divorce. What you should look up what divorces cost somebody.
I'll look it up.
And you know the old saying, right? You know why divorces are expensive, right?
Illuminate.
Because they're worth it.
That's terrible.
It's so bad, but that's what they say. But they divorce, dude. I know a handful of people right now, dude. What's the average?
Okay, so the average cost of divorce in the United States, this is again, according to Google AI and its source that they link to, if it would open this up, they link, come on, open up that stupid link. Just because to me it's important that we have these links. It's not opening. Whatever. Can range from $15,000 to $20,000, but it varies significantly based on factors like the level of conflict, whether children are involved, and the state where the divorce is filed.
See, and that's the other thing too, is I have friends and everybody knows somebody that has people somebody going through a divorce that are using their kids like pawns in a chess game.
Yeah.
And it's wrong. On so many levels, it's wrong. Like, I don't care what the reasoning is. I don't care how heartbroken you are, she is, whatever. You should never use your kids against each other for some kind of monetary gain of some nonsense, right?
So,
like,
remember we told you last time about my friend who's watched the show, about. He just told me, just was talking to him, that his lawyer called him and said, hey, listen, we're going to need another $5,000. She wants to relitigate. We got to go in front of a judge again. And he's like, another $5,000. Another. And he's like, and then after that, it's going to be another probably $4,000. And it's just like, dude. So this right here, cost estimates, a uncontested divorce, even an uncontested in which you're saying, listen, both parties mutually separating. It didn't work out for either one of us. Google says that right there ranges between $3,500 and $7,000. That's basically just in legal documenting.
Yeah.
That's what that is. A contested divorce can range between $15,000 to $100,000 or more per spouse.
Dude, I have
not total.
Dude, no.
Per spouse.
I work with a guy right now. He's one of the guys who work for me, and he's going through a nasty divorce. They were only married 7 years, right? Not crazy. Dude, I think he's in about $30,000 worth of debt right now to lawyer fees.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, bro, but he does not, when he has his 3 days of his kid, he doesn't work. The next 2 weeks, he will work every day of the week. He will max out what we're allowed to work in a week, hours wise, every week. And I can't help it. I'm not going to stop him as long as he doesn't go over and he's good. Like, I'm like, dude, I get it, man. You're trying to make he made close to probably over $100,000 in overtime last year just from having to work just because he's trying to stay afloat,
and cover a divorce.
And he didn't even have a house. Like, she's living in the house, he's living in a bedroom apartment and stuff or whatever, he's renting a room or something. But it's like, it's so messed up that it's come down to that. Like, for anybody, like, dude, I'm telling you right now, I'd be like, here, take everything. I don't want anything. I'll start over. You can have everything.
Well, and that's what you'd hope. That was what you'd hope would solve it.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, it is what it is. Like, you can have everything stay in the house. I don't need anything. I will start over. You can have everything you want. I don't need it. But I would hate to go into this whole no, let's nickel and dime.
What the voice is that? Yeah, what Kermit the Frog just showed up?
It's true, dude. It's true, dude.
Dude, Patrick Mahomes just walked into the room. Holy cow. Sorry, I did not mean to make fun of you. I was not prepared for that.
No, but that's the way it is, dude. You hear this nonsense all the time, and it just it's kind of sad, man. The world's come to that thing.
Sorry, dude. I'm still hearing that voice. Okay, quick question for you. What percent of third marriages do you think end in divorce? Because you have been so good. I am really impressed. Third marriages percentage.
I think it would be lower. Am I right? Am I lower than the second one?
Throw your number out there. What do you think?
I'm going to say 47.
You would be wrong.
Higher?
It is 73%. So, nearly 3/4 of third marriages end in divorce. And I think And this is based off of divorcestatistics.com. Goldberg Jones is what they list as the source there. And I believe you nailed it on the head when it came to the second one. You've gone through it already. You know you can survive it. And then if things aren't going the way you want, you bail. And that's even more so with the third.
And I figured, but I was trying to be optimistic that maybe the third time's the charm and they've figured it out, right?
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it makes sense. Like, again, you're just saying, okay, fine. Like, it's almost like a breakup now. But if you look, even across society today, divorce is not taboo like it used to be, right? Like,
no,
your parents, my parents, dude, it didn't matter. I mean, my parents, they're both gone. They passed on. But, dude, there were some times when, I mean, they were both into alcohol and stuff. There were some fights, bro. Like, and you didn't leave him. She didn't leave him. He didn't leave her. Like, I think my mom broke my dad's nose 2 or 3 times. Like, and he's
the more I hear about your mom, dude, the more I really like this lady.
She was a wonderful lady, dude. But, like, she threw an ashtray at his face one time, bro, and busted him in the nose. But, like, that's what, like, they still stayed together, though.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, there's not this taboo where it's like, oh, no, because your friends will tell you, hey, just get divorced, dude. Who cares? You'll be fine. You'll figure it out. You'll be fine, or whatever.
And see, that to me is the part that, like, it's at some point it's pretty admirable to fight through it, because, I mean, if you're getting real honest with yourself, you don't like everybody 100% of the time. You don't like anybody 100% of the time.
I don't like me 100% of the time.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So, like, it's pretty easy to get irritated with somebody who's also an independent individual who has their own thoughts. That you can have your own thoughts. Yeah, I know, right? But, like, that's why I feel like it's admirable to be able to say, you know what, I'm not letting that go. That's what I was saying last time. Like, figure out what it was you fell in love with. Like, figure that out again.
But for some people, it's just gone.
I do not.
And that happens.
I do
right?
not deny the fact that that is 100% a real thing.
Yeah, I
think
you can get divorced and it'd be a thing of, like, listen, like, I still love you, you still love me, but there's a thing where we're not in love anymore, and things happen. Like, life changes, people change, and I used to not believe people change, but as I get older and you experience your own life stuff, that you're like, I could see people do change.
Yeah, people absolutely change.
You know, and especially with, like, a traumatic event or something happens, like, it can change you. So it makes sense. Like, but it doesn't have to be vindictive. It doesn't have to be malicious. It doesn't have to be crazy. It's going to be emotional, right? If you're married for 15 years, 20 years, that's a death in the family when you divorce. Yeah. Everybody's going to feel it. It's going to be a mourning process, right? It probably won't be as long of a feeling as a death, but it's like, it's a mourning. Like, you're cutting somebody out of your life you've been with for 20 years. That's a long time. Yeah. But it doesn't mean it has to be malicious or just mean, you know, but that's just me. That's too much energy for me to be mean. And, like, it just, like, I don't know, like, you fell in love with that person, right? He or she is the mother or father of your kids. Yeah. There's a respect there that's just, they're entitled to you not treating them like crap. Now, then they play the whole tit for tat, right? Well, she treats me or he treats me like crap. But
it's the whataboutism. What about what they did? What about they did?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Be the bigger person. Like, grow up. I don't know. Be an adult. We're not on the playground, you know. Well, he hit me first. Okay.
I love all that, because that's actually a fantastic segue to the next thing I was to say. So if there's anything else anybody want to talk about, I actually got a few requests, but we didn't lead into all of them. That's the one that I wanted to get into. And that is the whataboutism. Well, what about this political party? What about that political party? This is the sound I wanted you to blind react to that I caught on the Bill Simmons podcast. Again, with Derek Thompson. We've talked about him before in their Future of Everything, the episode they always do. To give a quick little intro, Derek Thompson is an American podcaster and journalist, a self-described progressive. He is a staff writer at The Atlantic, and he has a few other things. I just figured that would be the best way to get him. So here you go.
Critiques is just that the Democratic Party and liberals have gotten out of the business of building. This is an organization or a movement, a coalition that's gotten really, really good at spending money and at judging success by how much money you spend. But it's brought us to a world where, like, California brags about authorizing $30 billion to build a high-speed rail system that does not exist. You know, just 2 weeks ago, the mayor of Chicago bragged about spending $11 billion building 10,000 affordable housing units. That's $1.1 million per affordable housing unit. I mean, this is pathetic. Democrats need to be the party that builds things. And especially after 2024, which, as you know, as everyone knows, was an affordability election. If you ask people who changed their mind between 2020 and 2024, why did you go from Democrat to Republican? Over and over again, it's groceries. It's especially housing. It's affordability. And really, if you take a close and honest look at the cities and the states that are run by Democrats, they often do the worst on affordability. San Francisco, Los Angeles, Boston, DC, where I'm from. I mean, these are some of the places that the working class are leaving and where you have really high rates of homelessness. And one of our ideas is that it goes back to housing. These places have gotten really, really bad at building homes. And if you're going to call yourself the party of the working class and you cannot build houses for the working class, that is a major, major problem. And you probably do deserve to get your butt kicked in every few elections. So we're trying to change that. We're trying to change the soul of the Democratic Party to a certain extent, from a party that associates success with how much you spend to a party that associates success with how much you build.
So he was introducing a book that he and another progressive, I can't remember the other one's name, wrote together. And he's basically talking about these are the overall critiques they have with the overall Democratic Party. And to just continue to solidify his point, do you remember how much they talked about how much Kamala Harris, you coming to grab the boy? Oh, wife's taking him, gonna feed him. Let's get him on camera real quick, actually.
Oh, there he is. The big reveal.
This is my baby. This is my baby. Yes. Look at him. Can you say hi, Trent?
It's too. Yeah. Okay. That's not the food I was thinking it was when I opened my eyes.
Yes. Thanks, babe. They talked all they talked about was the amount of money Kamala Harris had raised and the amount of money that she spent. It didn't mean crap.
No.
It did nothing.
It won't do anything.
Didn't do anything.
See, so I've been kind of we try to stay away from politics as far as picking a side, right? I think we try to be as neutral. We have our own views, but we try to understand both sides.
Yeah,
right?
I know that you and I, when we talk, we definitely try to do that, whether it comes across on the cameras or not.
Yeah, it is what it is. But the reality, like, I don't disrespect people for their views. I don't understand their views sometimes, but it is what it is. But what kills me right now with the Democratic Party and why they need to rebuild is their hate for Elon Musk all of a sudden. Like, he was their savior, their Tesla, their green energy guy, their all this stuff, right? And because he's now, I guess you'd call it Team Trump, right? For whatever his reasons are, it's like now we got people lighting Tesla stations on fire. And
which is insane.
And doing these things. And it's the same party that liked this guy. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, how do you not... And I saw a lady at the Capitol. I was walking on the Capitol the other day, and I see this lady, and she's there by herself. I'm like, why are you not at work? And then second, it's got a sign that says Doge, whatever, and it's got a line through it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not the most well-versed on this Doge thing enough to get really into it. But what I do know is that we are saving billions of millions and millions of dollars, not going somewhere else. Now, where it's going yet, I don't know what we're going to do with it. That's to be said. But how can you be against not sending or how can you be against him saying, hey, we're not going to send your money to Venezuela for sex changes. We're not going to send your money to Afghanistan for cartoons of some crap, right? Like, why are you upset about them saving your tax money? Like, why don't we use it here? We have homeless people, veterans, all kinds of people that could use a lot of that money to do something. But again, it's just that, like, okay, so you don't agree that how it's happening, but at the end of the day, how can you be that mad at somebody that's coming in and saying, why are we sending that much money somewhere? I don't get it. I just don't.
Here's a question I ask you. Do you believe that every institution in the government is really run right?
No, they're all fraud.
Okay. Do you believe that the money that we spend in our government has been perfectly allocated?
No.
Okay. Do you believe that every business perfectly allocates all their funds?
No.
Okay. So all those questions lead to me. Why do we believe that Elon Musk knows how to do it?
Well, what do you mean? Like, how? I don't think he knows how. I think he's just finding things.
Well, here's the reason why I asked that, because this was a huge project of Bill Clinton's to do the exact same thing. He ended up firing a whole bunch of different government workers, slashing projects, blah, blah, blah. Didn't do anything. Barack Obama did the exact same thing right around the 2008 crash. The exact same thing. Hey, we're going to slash government spending, blah, 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 blah. Didn't matter. Donald Trump came in. He broke records for the amount of government spending in his 4 years. Joe Biden broke his record for government spending. And it only would stand to believe for me that the exact same thing is going to happen the next 4 years, because Donald Trump has never cared about a deficit. He's never cared about debt ceiling. He's never cared about spending. The only reason why I think Doge exists is for a Band-Aid to say that we are going to be cutting government spending. We are going to be more efficient when they post their own receipts. If you go and check their own receipts, they are doing some real, I'll call it clever accounting, because their own receipts don't ever add up to what they claimed. One of the very first things they did was they claimed they slashed $55 billion in government spending, wasteful spending, they called it. That total was actually not even close to that. It was like $16 billion. Now, $16 billion, great, let's save it. One of those things that they said was an $8 billion contract they canceled was an $8 million concert. So they can't even get their own facts right. So I think one of the reasons why people are really upset with Elon Musk specifically, and you can put him in with the name of Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon guy, Bezos, Jeff Bezos, any of the major billionaires of these tech companies who have always been liberals, they put them all in the same stew. Everyone hates them now because they 100% turned coat the minute it became beneficial to them, right? The minute it became beneficial to be a Republican, they're a Republican. They abandoned all their morals, all of their quote unquote stances that they'd taken in the name of wokeism or whatever it is. All that mattered to them was the money. And we all feel that way, but now it's just become nakedly obvious that that's the only thing that's ever mattered to them was how much money they made. So I think that's one of the reasons why they hate Elon Musk. He's the face of it. Also, it's kind of easy to not like the guy when you think, again, just take yourself out of it being Donald Trump. Imagine if Kamala Harris was doing the exact same thing with Elon Musk on her side. We'd hate him because he is an unelected official who's the richest man in the world, whose vast wealth comes from government contracts. Our tax-paying dollars pay him and his companies. So why are we okay with him being in control of the company? He hasn't gone through a Senate confirmation meeting. He's a special employee or staff of the White House. He's not even officially the head of Doge, but he is, and we all know he is. The only reason why he's officially not is because then he would have to go through a Senate confirmation meeting or hearing, and then we'd have to find out all of the actual conflict of interest he actually has, because the amount of agencies that he slashed were directly investigating his companies. So there's a lot of reasons to understand why Elon Musk gets the brunt of it. The whole reason why I was saying like the whataboutism is it is what about this and what about that? What about what Democrats did during Bill Clinton's time and Barack Obama's time? Well, we're doing it now, so why are now suddenly the Democrats all pissed about it? And before, the Republicans were pissed about it. It's the stupid fight because one side's the blue side that says it, one side's the red side that does it, and you can't ever agree that the other side might have a good idea.
Well, agree. And then it's like the whole idea of like, it's like America, we always need an enemy.
Yeah.
Right? If we didn't have an enemy, what would we do with our time?
Yeah.
Why would we have a $700 billion defense fund or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So we always need an enemy. Yeah, trillion. We always have an enemy, and the same, we never can get along. It's like, well, and you got to figure there's obviously some profit in of sides being against each other.
Yeah.
So there's obviously that, right? Whether it be one or another. They'd never want us to come together and unify ourselves because then we'd overthrow the government and be like, what are you guys all doing?
Yeah. Well, because I think, like you said, you think about the amount of money in Fox News versus MSNBC. Well, CNN, I don't even know where CNN is anymore. They don't know where they're at. They try to be centrist. They're left and they're right. They have no idea what they are. So, but the point is, these huge, massive media companies, they get their advertising dollars by catering to one side or the other. It is so naked and obvious.
It's news, it's all that stuff where like they all just push whatever they can to almost like, and algorithms help with understanding that, hey, look, that you spend more time watching a conservative thing than a liberal thing, so they're going to send you all the liberal stuff that you're going to hate, and it's just going to piss you off even more and then fuel your fire back the other way.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's so corrupt anymore. And I'm not saying Elon Musk is the answer or Doge is the answer, but it's just, it's hard when you look at everything and you're like, my problem is, and this has always been my problem, is I hate that we invest so much of our money somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line for me.
And my thing is, and I think we talked about this, like I love the idea of saying that the United States, we have, so we will give, we'll take care of. But if it really was, if they really were saying we are 100% going to be America first, then I could understand that argument even more if they did it. Yeah. If they did it, I could understand, but they're not. They're not. We're still heavily invested in what goes on with Israel and Palestine. We're still so invested in that. I just saw, and I didn't read the article, so take this for what it's worth. It's literally a headline, and it's on my list of things to read. But it was about how now we're going to help Russia with their exports to help their economy. Why? Why? Listen, is Russia not the enemy anymore?
The devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
I guess.
I don't know.
I would say this. It'd be better like, you know what? We're going to say this. We're out. We're bringing all the troops home. We're going to bolster our borders. We're going to work on manufacturing in this country. That's what we're going to do. If that's what they really would do,
that would be America first.
And I could hear it, and I could say, even though if I disagree, it's a stance that at least makes some sense to me, because we do have our own problems here. We do. But we don't do that. I mean, this is an example I'll use, and I don't know if it's a perfect one, but how long did Donald Trump in his first administration talk about how he's going to end the war in Afghanistan? I mean, he kept delaying the date, and then Joe Biden comes in and does the messiest exit of all time. At least
leaves all of our stuff.
He left everything. But you know, people could say, well, at least he left. It was like the worst exit ever, but he did it. And that would be more American first than what Trump did when he never did. He never left. But I don't know. It's probably a circular argument because it is one of those things I get super frustrated with both sides. Derek Thompson's point about how if Democrats really were for working people, then why is it that every single city that we know of, where it is a known blue city, they have the highest crime rates, they have the worst homelessness problems, and they're the most expensive to live in?
It's true. I
mean,
don't know.
There's at some point you have to say, well, it's not their fault. Like, well, you know, there's enough. Like if you were to throw something on the dartboard, there's enough things landing in the same spot to say there might be a magnet behind that board.
Just maybe.
There might be.
Yeah.
And also, and this is not entirely fair, but if you were also flip that and say, where are the most affordable places to live? Where's the least amount of crime rates? Where's the least amount of homeless? It's typically in more red areas. And I'm not saying I know all the reasons for that. I'm not going to pretend to. I'm sure there's some data out there to point why, but I'm just saying it's kind of just the way it is. I remember this happens every single time there's an election. Every time there's an election, you look at the election boards and they'll put the whole country up and how much of the country is red. I mean, like if you were to look at surface area of the country, it's like 90% of the surface area of the country is red. And then you have these massive blue pockets in the major cities, which is where the major population centers are, right?
Have you seen that T-shirt of the America and it says Trump better coverage than 5G?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was entertaining. It's
true.
Shirt, yeah.
It's true. But like when you look at those areas, like listen, dude, if you were to move to Sholo, which is where you're from, how much crime are you going to see up there?
I mean, you have your pockets of DVs and stuff like
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Because that doesn't
But here's the thing. The problem, the reality is when you go into a state, let's just call Chicago. It's easy.
Yeah.
Law-abiding citizens can't carry weapons by the law, right? In Illinois, they have the strictest gun laws in the country in Chicago.
Yep.
So if you're a criminal, your victim pool is unarmed. Now, you come over here to Arizona in the wild, wild west that we are, right? Where like, hey, I'm gonna rob some dude or go into somebody's house. The odds of them having more than one weapon readily available are way higher. And statistically, I like my chances in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to break somebody. I don't want to do it. You come in my house. Dude, I long for the day. I swear to you, I long for the day. Please break in my house so I can grab my AR-15 pistol with my laser and search my house and snuff you out, dude. Like let's go, right? Like
freaking Rambo in his house. But like, you have the eye black on,
perched up on the stairs, just waiting. You picked the wrong house, bro. Like,
dude, that's a comedy movie waiting to happen right there, dude. But I mean, listen, also look at the animal kingdom. If you're in the animal kingdom, are coyotes hunting other predators, or are they hunting the chickens in your backyard?
Right.
Or the rabbits in the brush? No, man, they're going after the easy prey.
Easy.
And that is natural selection.
All in the blue plates it's easy. And that's not a Democratic slam. It's just easier. I'm sorry, but it's true.
And if there's one thing we know about criminals, they are not afraid of breaking the law.
No, they're not. They don't follow the rules.
Yeah.
So I have a grievance if you want to push your little button.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah, baby.
Maybe just think about it.
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
So it made me think about it because I'm going to clear my house, right? Okay, listen, I am so over solicitors coming to my freaking house. It is out of control, dude. Like, I had 3 different pest controls knock on my house in like less than an hour and a half. And I don't even answer my door. I usually go for the top of my window. I have a window over the door. Yeah. And I'll just look out the window like, what do you want? What are you selling? Well, I don't want it. Don't come back. And but I always say, hey, listen, do you need a water or something? It's warm. Like, I'm not a complete dick, But I'm tired of it. So I walk out.
What is this? What is that? Nobody's 100% dick. What's that from? What's that
I
from?
don't know.
Dang it, dude. Oh, it's going to kill me.
I'm going to look into that.
Dude, my buddy, Ricky, he's going to text me. He's like, dude, that's 100% what this is from. Nobody's 100% dick.
Well, that's how I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to be a complete like jerk to him, but at the same time, so I finally, the third time I go out and I open the door and I walk outside and what do you want, dude? And he's like, I'm here. And I said, listen, I don't care what you're selling. I don't know what neighborhood you guys are doing or what's going on, but dude, this is the third time in an hour. And he goes, and it was a kid, right? He's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. And I said, what are you selling? He goes, pest control. I said, yeah. And that just knocked on my door 10 minutes. He goes, was it Eco Shield? And I said, yeah. And he goes, those sons of, and I was like, he goes, I know, I just got yelled at 2 doors down for, and I'm like, bro, it's because this whole street of this neighborhood is overfished right now, right?
Yeah.
So we go on Amazon, right?
Guardians of the Galaxy, that's what it is. Guardians of the Galaxy at the very end of the movie, yeah.
So I've never fully seen that whole movie.
Oh, dude, it's great.
I've seen it enough to know what it is. But anyway, so we start looking up signs on Amazon, right? And we're like, I want to get a clever, funny sign. So we got one that says, we were too broke to buy anything. We already know who we're voting for, blah, 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 right?
And there's also something about the missionaries. We found God.
Yeah, we found Jesus.
We found Jesus. We don't need a pest control guy.
Yeah,
our home's secure.
Please go away. If you're not Amazon, FedEx, whatever, go away.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm starting looking at other things and order this other thing, and it comes with it puts over the Ring camera, right? So you can put a little no soliciting signs when they go to see it. It's got a little thing under it. Well, one of the little things that you could stick on the sticker, it says busy doing hawk to come back. Dude, I'm like, my kids were at home and I'm like, we should put this on just to see if they see it when they come in, because they know they're teenagers, they know everything. But
absolutely.
I was like, dude, oh, that is so funny.
The amount of money that girl has made off of a 5-second moment is unreal.
Unreal. But it's so funny. But I was like, but anyway, I hate solicitors. Stop going. And I have a sign up, but I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll give you the credit. You can't see the sign. That's why I bought this new one. But man, why? Like, I just don't know, man. I
can tell you why. There's a lot of money in it, man.
I know there is. And it's either solar or pest control are the two things that always come to my house. Yeah. And I always tell them, bro, I don't want solar. I'm good. I know a guy if I need it. And then pest control, I have a guy. And I try to be nice. But we had one group of two guys come back to my house 3 different times in the same day because we didn't answer the door. I've got kids at home and they're like, Lexi's like, Dad, these are the same guys. Like, this is creeping me out. And I'm like, like you start looking like they have an iPad, like they're selling something, but yeah. I'm just not home to answer the door and be like, what do you want, dude? Yeah. Like, I'm done. Get off my property right now, dude. So I can't wait. With this sign I have now, if somebody knocks on my door, full board.
Protected by Smith & Wesson. Yeah,
you should be able to punch a dude. If you have a sign up like that and they still ring your doorbell, or have you seen the ones that they put in the doorbell that say, baby's sleeping, don't ring the doorbell, whatever.
And they ring the doorbell.
Still ring the doorbell. You should have full board open up and throat punch them. And then just say, sorry, bro, that's what you get, dude. You'll never do it again.
I literally have a sign. Bill Engvall, his whole thing. Here's your sign. Here is your sign.
I
put it right here.
Leave me alone. I don't like people. Go away. Clint Eastwood, get off my lawn.
Yes, Gran Torino. So for me, like, I actually have a heart like a soft spot because my nephews all do it. Bro, they have a company. Like, that is what their company does. They sell this service. Not so much like they sell their salesman service to companies who want sales.
Right.
And they do it. And they're good at it. And I did it. I hated it. And I was not good at it.
I get it to an extent, which I understand it's business, right? It just becomes the problem. And like, I apologized to the kid when I was, but I'm like, dude, you should know when you're going into a neighborhood if it's been overfished or not. And you just go drive around before you start knocking. Like, you can see people walking. You're probably like, oh, dude, I don't want to piss anybody else off. Because if they're selling pest control, I don't know what the market for pest control seems to be the same. So it's like, listen, you're going to kill my bugs. He's going to kill my bugs. This
and they're all going to be about the same price.
And they're all going to come back and they're all the same price. So I don't need a new one. You're not going to offer me anything. You give me a year subscription for free and then I can renegotiate afterwards. I'd maybe consider,
So all that's being said, I have a pest control company that's talked about sponsoring the show. So
perfect.
If that's the case.
Don't knock on my door, though. I'd rather get a phone call or an email about it or a text to say, no, I'm not interested.
Or a flyer.
Oh, dude.
I could do a flyer. So I
just put it out my door, walk away.
I had a friend who did a door hanging thing where he literally just door hangers. Didn't knock on doors, just door hangers. I don't know if it worked. I mean, obviously it cost him a lot up front because he had to buy get all the printing done. And I don't know how many of them ended up in the wind, but I don't know. Maybe it works better. It's hard for me because when it comes to things like this, I've already got somebody.
That's what I'm saying.
I've already got somebody on most everything that they're coming to sell me for. Like, I've already. The one thing that's really nice about living where I live, though, dude,
It doesn't happen.
I get one a year.
Yeah. I live in a regular neighborhood where you're just walking down the street. And again, I understand it. It's business. Because the 1 or 2 they sell for the day will probably pay them for the month. Like, I get it. But I'm like, dude, like, how do you not just look down my street? Because it's a long street and see other people walking and think, okay, this is overfished. I'm just going to leave this neighborhood.
At least, that day.
Yeah, that day, bro.
If it's that day.
And then here's the thing. What really pisses you off is we're in a modern day, right? Do you ever just show up at somebody's house without calling or texting you're on your way first? Like, no. Really? You always like, hey, we're on our way. Hey, we'll be there soon.
Not even my parents.
Like, you're going to tell them you're coming. You don't just show up, right? So when I'm laying on my couch almost asleep and the doorbell rings, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Dude, and if these guys only knew that you were working the night shift and you were sleeping.
I'm like, I answer the door with no shirt on half the time or in a tank top. I'll slam the door open. I'm like, what? Like, what can I help you with today? So,
dude, you need to disconnect your doorbell.
Dude.
And put one of those metal doors on because
I have a metal one.
Oh, you have a metal one?
But it's not, the problem is it's not locked, but they just ring the doorbell.
But I'm saying, disconnect the doorbell. Nobody likes knocking on those freaking metal doors. They freaking hurt. I can tell you this is a guy who spent 2 years knocking on doors as a missionary for the church. Whenever I got to a storm door, I was like, all right, just going to go ahead and
see, and that's what happens
for this
too, right? Is I think people who are like religious things, right? Like the missionaries of all different kinds, right? Whatever. Yeah. They're knocking doors. Like the crappy part is they're not the pest control. And the guy who's pissed off may need Jesus or Jehovah Witness or Jehovah, whoever you're into. But the problem is they just haven't been pissed off by the guys down the street.
By the guy selling solar.
So they're ruining it. The guys selling solar and pest control are ruining it for all the missionaries.
For the people that need Jesus.
That maybe need some kind of Jesus in their life. Well, too bad you done pissed him off and now he wants to shoot the next person and you happen to be a missionary.
Oh my God. What a way to go out as a missionary.
Yeah, geez.
Out there spreading the word and killed by this guy.
Yeah, pest control got him. It's crazy.
Pest control got him. All right, dude. I quickly wanted to vent on the Southwest. You are just like everybody else now.
Oh yeah, they're dumb. They just screwed everything.
They completely sold out. Like, what separates you from any other airline?
You know what'd be funny?
That's my grievance. We had grievances. Yours. This is mine. I was gonna hit the number again, but whatever. We already got it. But like, seriously, why? Why would I choose Southwest?
So here's what I think Allegiant should do, or these other little smaller ones that are trying to get bigger, especially Allegiant, because I wish they'd fly more places out of where we live.
Yeah,
but they should do that. Fly 2 bags for free now. Change your theory. It worked for Southwest for so long. People will be like, why am I going to fly? And then make it hurt Southwest where it counts. And now they're like, hey, we're going to expand. Now you've got all these people that want to come. Your revenue goes up. You can start having more planes. And And now you're like, oh yeah, we're based out of Gateway.
Listen, you don't even have to go all in on 2 bags. Just say one.
Yeah. Who checks 2 bags? Like if you're
a psycho if you check 2 bags by yourself. You are insane.
Dude, I'm like, okay, I pack a big bag when I'm
an overpacker. I am a classic overpacker.
Do you know why? Shoes. I like to have. I don't know what shoes I'm going to wear when I go somewhere. Like it depends on what the weather's like. There's a lot of play here.
I wish I could say why. For me, it's because I think the world's going to end anywhere I go. So I better be prepped. Like I've got everything I could possibly need for a year but at the same time, 1 bag.
One big bag is fine.
If I'm traveling by myself, it's a duffel bag.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I'm getting ready. We're going to be going to Florida, taking the whole family. Right. And luckily for us, we still have that. Like I think it's like A-list. You can still get your 2 bags free. So like I have that. So like, okay, good. We'll still get our 2 bags. But even still, if it's me, my wife, and all 4 of the kids, we're going to check 2 bags and have backpacks.
Yeah,
That's a family of 6 who by themselves is checking 2 bags.
I don't, dude. You got me. I'm like,
psycho.
That is so much to bring around. The reason why I started checking a bag is because if you ever walk through an airport without a carry-on,
that's so nice.
You checked everything. Like, this is the greatest thing ever.
So nice.
Get on the plane, get off the plane.
I got nothing in my hands.
Nothing. Just walking aimlessly. Like, I feel like I'm free. That's freedom.
Dude, you got to feel like the best person in the airport because everybody else is stressed out of your mind. You're just walking with nothing on your back, nothing on your arms.
I checked. They may lose my shit, but guess what?
But you know what? When is the last time it ever happened to you?
You know, it doesn't happen to me. I don't fly enough for it to happen. I think it's a numbers game. So you really don't. I mean, I'm sure if it happens a lot to people who travel more so, but I mean, Carl's sister works in baggage. Like it happens all the time.
Oh yeah.
Do people leave the craziest things? Like we should have her on the show about the craziest things she gets left behind.
But that's left behind because I left this tablet. I left it on an Allegiant flight. It was there the next day when I went back to get it, but it wasn't checked. I left it. It was my bad.
Yeah.
Also, it's really nice checking a bag because I feel like in most places outside of Orlando, but it's the worst. Baggage claim's pretty quick. It ain't slow.
By the time you get down there, usually it's coming up. And
when you don't have to get anything off the plane, you can just sit back and relax while everybody else is freaking out trying to get the crap out of their head overhead bins.
Planes, why do you stand up when the plane lands? If you're in the back of the plane, just sit down.
Just sit, man.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I always make it a point. Like, I'll look up at it. It's usually typically a woman, and I'll look up and I'm like, are you in a hurry? Because you can't go nowhere.
Yeah, you're going to be stuck.
And guess what? I'm not going to let you go in front of me. So I'm going to stand up and let this whole row go before I go, just to piss you off now because you think you're more important than us because you stood up first.
My thing is, I will stand up if I've been sitting the whole time just to stretch.
But in your seat.
In my seat. I'm not in the aisle.
Yeah.
No freaking way.
No.
And that's only if I have an aisle seat, by the way, because I'm not standing up in the middle with my head like this. But at the same time, then I'll sit back down and wait.
Yeah,
like,
why are you in a hurry?
Once I see the people moving, then I will stand up.
Well, and what's funny is no matter how many planes I've been on, no matter how many people stand up quick, it still goes front to back.
And the exact same speed.
Exact same way, yep. These two go, these two go. These
no
two
change
go,
in
these
pace.
two go. I swear, dude. I would like to just lose it on a plane one time and just like throw something around. Just like, what do you like rip off a seat just to be mad? I'm like, why are you standing up? But then I saw a meme that said after all those plane crashes, it was like, well, now I understand why people clap when we land.
I saw that too.
That's funny.
What are your thoughts on the national anthem prior to sporting events?
I'm all about it. I'm sorry. If you kneel, you can just leave. Here's my thing. And the problem is, you don't have to put your hand over your heart. You don't have to, even though whatever. But you kneeling and all that stuff is a whole different concept. But no, you need. Dude, we're in America. We are the reason we are able to
just leave it on the floor, dude.
I know.
Don't pick it up this time.
The reason we're able to play these sports and this freedom is that song represents that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what? Absolutely, we're going to keep playing it. I think they should play it at every sporting event when they're like in high school, like they do, and they should
get the high school band out there to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I remember when it was a big thing with Colin Kaepernick and he was kneeling, right? And the whole discussion was, well, maybe we should stop doing the national anthem because America's the only one that does it. We don't do this in Europe and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, because you guys don't care. Yeah. Screw you guys. Listen, we cared here.
It's because we beat all of you. That's why we have that thing. Sorry, we're the best. This is what you get. You're not the best. That's why you don't play.
And
it.
my thing is, and I didn't even care that Colin Kaepernick was kneeling. And my thing was because guess what? In this country, he has the right to do that.
I know, but it's the
now. Listen, I fully get your point of view. Yeah. I do, because I disagreed with his reasoning, but I fully supported his right.
Well, agreed. But here's the thing: when he did that, the problem is the media blew it up. If he just put a knelt, nobody would. If you wouldn't have paid attention to him, let him kneel. It's his whole thing,
it's
right?
His right. Yep.
But it was like when the was it Villanueva? Big lineman, the big lineman for Seattle or for the
the Army veteran.
He was an Army veteran.
6'8",
his guys didn't want to go out for the national anthem. He was like, "Well, I'm going to go stand at the tunnel because I fought for this right."
Yes.
And then they totally just destroyed him and tried to make him out to be this bad person. I'm like,
he's the Pittsburgh Steelers left tackle.
Yeah, and he was a beast too. I'm pretty sure he's Villanueva.
Villanueva, I think,
something weird like that, right? But like he's a big dude. But
he was 6'8", 315, 320, just a human. Massive human.
And you're like, hey, why? If you have the right to kneel, then I have the right to stand here, and there can't be a hate on either side. Then, if you're gonna kneel. If you want to stay in the locker room till the national anthem's open, that's you. I don't know why you'd want to do that. It makes zero sense to me, especially on the claim of racism when everything in this country is given to anybody not white. So don't even go there. So it just doesn't make any sense.
My thing is let's not pretend but just leave it there. You going after it anyway. Oh, now you just put it further away. But my thing is I really don't have an issue with his point of view because we can't pretend like racism didn't exist in America.
Right.
And it does.
I get it.
And we have a really ugly history about it. And again, I fully defend his right to be able to do it. At the same time, though, I'm not saying we should ever stop doing it. One of my favorite things when you show up to a sporting event is how everybody stops walking on the concourse. Everybody turns from the concession stand they're at, and they look for a flag, hand over their heart, and we're doing this.
Let me ask you this question.
And we're waiting for the, of the brave part. Everyone's going to scream and yell and start shouting.
When they say the land of the free and they hear the woo whistle and stuff, Okay, let me ask you this, though. In the same concept, right?
Yeah.
If you're standing there next to a guy and he doesn't take his hat off, can you throat punch him?
Well, again, my belief, he has the right not to do so. I will look at him and I will nudge, I will gesture. Yeah, I do that all the time.
Because guys forget. Because if you wear a hat long enough, You don't even have it on.
You don't even know what's on your head.
It's part of you, right?
Yeah.
It's like hair.
Yep.
But
exactly.
But some of
For
you
those who don't have hair, it becomes your hair because you're hiding that part of your head.
But I feel like, and then but they give you crap, and you're like, and you'll see women leave them on too because they have their ponytails through and all that stuff, which I'm not mad about. I get it.
I don't know why. For some reason, I've always felt like it was okay that women didn't have to take their hats off.
Because I think it's the fact that the hair, they don't just put a hat on. It's they have their hair done through it, you know, or something.
Yeah, I guess.
So you don't think, but I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I agree with you. I don't ever look at it twice when it's a woman, but I look at a man. If I'm standing next to the dude and I'm like, bro, like,
what's your deal?
Want me to take it off for you?
Come on.
Like, come on.
Get your crap together, dude.
And most of the time they're like, oh, I forgot, or you know, but like,
yeah, most of them it is because, like I said, I can fully understand that. I've forgotten many times.
Yeah.
And oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah, take the hat off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
So no throat punch.
I think that might be stepping over the line there, okay?
Yeah, you know, it would curb a lot of problems in this country. We could throat punch people immediately.
Yes, you are not wrong about that. Here's the next thing I wanted to say, okay? One thing that I find crazy, and we talked about this a long time ago, and I never actually got into it until I started this diet, okay? Protein shake, frozen. Just a protein shake, frozen. Put in the Ninja Creamy.
Bro, all day
is
long.
straight up ice cream.
100%.
It is straight up ice cream, and it honestly feels like I'm cheating.
Bro,
I feel like I'm cheating on the diet.
It's a great thing.
It is just a protein shake.
Yep. It doesn't matter because it's the consistency of like the
ice cream.
And you're eating it with a spoon.
Yes.
You're like, I shouldn't tell anybody. But I'm
Dude, so me and my two buddies, we're both doing this. They're not doing the same thing I am, but they're doing their own version of it.
Yeah.
And we're like, every single time we're like, this can't be real. Like, and we're talking about different like protein shake combos.
Dude.
My favorite right now is chocolate marshmallow. It is so good. One scoop of marshmallow, one scoop of Cocoa Pebbles. Boom.
Done.
It is great.
Done. Do you use water or do you use Fairlife?
I use water.
Yeah, I've
the first one I did was Fairlife. Fairlife is a much better consistency.
Of course.
It's much better.
Of course, but you can still pull it off with water.
You can still pull it off with water. It's not, like I said, it's not as good. It's almost more like a slushy, but it's got the right.
You're eating it with a spoon.
Yes,
Yeah.
Dude. Also, on the same vein, you know what I do not understand? How on earth this doesn't make any sense? How on earth the farts you get from protein shakes are horrendous?
It's protein farts. It's the amount of protein you're putting in your body in general. Yeah.
But poop doesn't smell at all. How does that make any sense?
I don't know.
Dude, every single time I go take a dump, I'm prepped. Like I've been ripping them and it is rough. It is going to be so bad in here. And by the time I'm like, that wasn't anything. How is this even possible?
I love hot bucks in the car, bro. With the kids letting it go and just not telling them.
Dude.
They get so mad. Dude,
My buddy was telling me, because again, he's doing the same thing. He's like, dude, my wife almost kicked me out of the room. And I didn't believe her. He's like, dude, there's nothing. I'm just not any normal. And he's like, and the next night I was reporting in my office when I was working, he's like, oh my gosh. It's bad.
So I play softball on Sunday nights, right? And Sundays I'll have like a good breakfast. That's the day where I don't have just a normal breakfast. I'll have eggs with like an English muffin or whatever.
Yeah.
But throughout the day, that's where like I eat a little bit of play. Dude, those protein farts hit every time in a softball game. And I'll run into the dugout and grab my glove, or if I'm up to bat first, and I will crop dust that whole place. And I'll run out, and they're like, I just keep my back turned, and they're like, who did that? I just start laughing, and now they know it's me because I'm the only one that eats like that.
Dude, on the drive up to Flagstaff
so
with my
funny.
kids, my son, Dad, did you fart again? And I've got the windows up with the window lock on. They can't roll them down. Like, dude,
I don't even care.
It is the
dude.
craziest phenomenon how those farts can be so rank, and then poop.
Well, and
it's
what's
like
funny is
odorless.
it's not just men, because like in the bodybuilding world, you just end up talking to a bunch of men and women.
Right.
Dude, they say the same thing. The protein farts are no joke. And it's funny to hear a woman say it because most women don't like to fart in front of men for the most part, right? But it's still one of those like.
Shout out to my sister Ann, who has no problem with it.
Dude, Kara was on my couch one time, dude, and she let one fly. I'll still remember it, dude. It scarred me. Carl's sitting right next to her, dude, and she let this one go. And it's just, I was like, was that real? And Carl just takes his jacket, just covers his nose. Oh, yeah. But she's like a sister, so it's okay. But
Yeah, well, mine is literally my sister.
Yeah, protein farts are no joke.
Dude, it is, like I said, the fact that the fart can be that way and the poop isn't is just astonishing.
And then, so you eat a lot of food right now, right? You're eating a lot of food.
Yeah.
How much are you pooping? Not near as much as you thought.
No, not near as much as I want, but I'm still pretty consistent with once a day.
Right, which is fine because you're still getting waste out and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I struggle with the fiber.
Oh, that thing?
Because it turns into freaking Jello if I don't immediately drink it.
Yeah, so I bought one of these like blender cups from Costco. They came in a pack, and I put like you got to be careful how much ice you put in because it turns to gel if it's not enough, or if it's too much, it's too like it's almost like slushy, which isn't good. But I figured out enough. But yeah, I do. You have to drink it almost right away, or else it comes kind of thick.
I put it in a protein shake. So I mix in the protein shake and then I take it to the office. Dude, between here and the office, it was like sludge. I'm like,
you gotta
trying so. I gotta get like a freaking spoon out to eat this. This is straight up Jell-O. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah.
But I'm trying my best to get all this crap down, but it's hard, man. It's hard to get it all in.
It's a challenge, I'm sure, every day for you because you're learning, but you're doing well.
I can't believe you did not just say that's what she said to what I just said. I was staring at you waiting. I'm like, he's gonna do it.
I should have, but no. We got time with something serious. Dying serious.
That's true.
That's something I enjoy, but yeah. All
right, and then the last thing, and then we'll call. I don't think we do a part two. There's nothing really to talk about anyway. We already talked about the Suns earlier briefly, and that's all we needed. Okay, this is the one question. I set you up for this last night. I wanted to know what actor or actress that you wish had not just disappeared because when they were on their run, I mean, they were firing 101 mile an hour fastballs every single time they showed up.
Well, so I started thinking about people that the problem is like not so much disappeared, but died.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Farley.
100% Chris Farley. He's the top. When you said died, Chris Farley's the first person.
Dude, John Candy.
Yep.
These guys that just like, they were in a run of just like funny, right? Or they're always good. And then it's like, boom, they're gone. And then you're like, I wonder what it'd be like today.
Yeah.
If they did. Chris Tucker was an interesting thought.
Chris Tucker was mine. And that's the one I told you, like, this is my guy. Because
what was his last movie?
Well, actually, he was in that movie where what was it called? I think it was called Air. It's the Matt Damon Ben Affleck movie about how they got Michael Jordan to sign with Nike.
Oh,
he's one of the guys that works for Nike. Before that, he hadn't been visible in years.
He was in with Jackie Chan, right?
Rush Hour.
That's what he was big time in.
The first movie I ever saw him in was The Fifth Element. You ever seen The Fifth Element?
Oh yeah, Bruce Willis, old school.
He's the radio.
Movie.
Yeah, he's the radio jockey. Watch it again. He is. Every moment he's in the movie, it is hysterical. He is an amazing part in that movie, but he's not in a big part. He's not a very big part, but every moment he's on screen, it's like, dude, this guy's the greatest.
He was funny in Rush Hour.
And Rush Hour was awesome. And then and Friday?
Oh, of course.
Friday.
Yeah, of course.
And then nothing.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, that's a never-ending gif. Everybody uses that. I use it all the time. But like
that one and what's Debo? Stop eating. Come on.
Yeah, dude. Friday day was a good day. I mean, but really, like, Chris Tucker's one of those guys that his flame burned bright, and then he just disappeared. He just stopped.
Where's he at?
I don't know. I remember reading or listening to an interview or something like that where he basically just said he just kind of got tired of the fame, and he just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves is tired of the fame. He still makes some money and then disappears and then lives like a homeless person.
Yeah, then just shows up on the New York subway.
Yeah, but he's a baller. Every movie he does is out of control.
Yeah, but I couldn't think of any other person like Chris Tucker who just stopped, and they just because they were done, they just didn't want to do it anymore. Like, I mean, there's lots of guys like that when they get old. Like Sean Connery, he didn't act until he died. He stopped. Gene Hackman, who just passed away, same thing. He made his last movie and was done.
Still suspicious.
I don't know.
What happened?
He was 95 years old, man. 95 years old.
Bro, but like there was a lot of like suspicious circumstances around the whole thing.
So the thing that was suspicious is that his wife, 20 years younger, also died. And their dog died. But he died at 95. Like, to me, it's like, okay, yeah, he's dead. But I'd read some story about like it might have been like a mouse. Like a mice virus that got her, and I don't know. I don't know.
See what I mean?
But at the same time, he's 95.
They are old.
Yeah, 95 years old is that's a ripe old age to go.
So you saying that last night made me think of this thing I read, and I'm trying to find the exact article, but actors who are serving life in prison. Oh. Right? People you'd know or wouldn't know and stuff. And it's pretty crazy, dude. Like one of the guys from that 70s show. Danny Masterson.
Masterson. Yeah.
A guy named Michael J. So did you ever watch the show The Shield?
No.
He's one of like the main characters in the first season. The Shield's about a crooked cop thing, and he's a trainee officer, and he's in it the whole time because he's hiding that he's gay the whole time. It's actually it's a really good series. One of my favorite series of all time, but he's in it for killing his wife.
Oh, wow.
There's a guy from like one of the Power Rangers. The original Power Rangers?
Really? Which one?
I don't know. I got to remember. I'm trying to find the one. I'm trying to find that same article.
Who Phil Hartman was? Remember Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger? He's the guy. He's the guy that's trying to get Arnold's
next
wife
door.
Yeah. You know, he died.
No,
his wife killed him.
Ooh.
Chopped off his wiener and killed him. It was gross, to say the least. But that was one of those sad murder-suicide things where I think she killed everybody in the house type thing.
Ugh.
Yeah, just real rough. I remember that being on like some talk show in the middle of the day when I was a kid. But, okay, who else could you... Oh, the other one is... What about Wesley Snipes?
He was in prison.
Yeah, for tax evasion.
Mm-hmm. Well, it says what's funny is I searched it trying to find the article, and it says, here are some actors who are currently serving time in prison. Tim Allen.
What?
I don't think that's true.
That's not true. He's currently...
Martha Stewart. She did.
Oh, no.
Sutherland.
So Tim Allen did serve time. Remember, he got busted early in his career for cocaine. Like early in like the 70s.
They all did.
I know, which is like, okay, let's bust this one guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe so that thing's got to be wrong about like current.
R. Kelly.
yeah, that follows.
That guy, Jerry. I don't know that guy. Don't know that guy. There's a handful. The Duggars from the Duggar family. Joshua hit the guy.
Child porn.
19 kids and counting. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
It's very sad. Very, very sad. Like anytime that you hear child something when it comes to a crime, you're just like, oh, everything about that just makes you want to shiver and take a shower.
Darren Sharper, ex-football player.
Yeah, I remember Darren Sharper. He was a safety for the Saints.
Dude, it's weird that you remember that because we have useless information in our head.
Yeah.
For he raped as many as 16 women.
What? Mm-hmm. Holy crap. I didn't know that. How did I not know that?
I don't know. Mel Hall, former professional baseball player.
I don't know who that is.
Harvey Weinstein.
So here's one that this person just kind of like disappeared off the map. Rick Moranis.
Oh, from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
He did. He did that Honey, I Shrunk the Kid thing, blew up the kid and then disappeared.
Blew up the kid and disappeared. I love the way you phrased that. I want to say his story was his wife, I think she got cancer and died, and he stopped to take care of his kids. He just was like, I'm done. I'm dad now. I'm not wasting time. That I might not be fully selling that story correctly, but I'm almost positive that was his story. Let's see here. Just on this list of people that it's got, one of them was Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, yeah. JTT,
heartthrob of the 90s.
He was such a heartthrob, man.
Dude, absolutely.
Tool Time and all these Man of the House. Remember Man of the House with Chevy Chase?
Yeah. Another one was Amanda Bynes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she had like a weird nervous breakdown type thing.
She went kind of crazy though. Didn't she have like a weird her like makeover? Like she went like shaved her head, whatever she did.
That was
weird kind of stuff.
Britney Spears did the shaved head thing. I think she just started getting real weird about stuff she was posting, and people got really worried about her.
Britney Spears. I was just watching. I was sitting on the couch and it said like music in the 90s was such a great time to be alive, and it was all different like. And one of them was Britney Spears, Hit Me Baby One More Time, and it was showing the music video, and I look at Elliot, I'm like, this is what changed us men forever.
This is what turned me from a boy to a man.
Yeah,
this was it.
Oh yeah,
let's see.
Yeah, you can't make that up.
Other names on here. Let's see. Randy Quaid.
Oh yeah, Randy Quaid. Wait,
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid is a name from Total Recall. Like, wait, Randy Quaid. I'm pretty.
No, Randy Quaid.
I know, but isn't that not Arnold Schwarzenegger's name in I don't Total Recall? So. It's Quaid. Something is Quaid.
Maybe. Look. But Randy Quaid is the guy on Independence Day who is the drunk pilot.
Oh yeah.
Remember me?
Hello, boys. I'm back.
Exactly. That's him, and he's in Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah. So, hey Clark, ship's full.
yeah, that's that guy. If I remember right, something like he ended up being homeless. Something weird like that. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. I don't know. Freddie Prinze Jr. Not really. I mean, he wasn't really much of a movie guy. But I mean, this is just a quick. When I put up actors that disappeared on Google, it gave me this list of people. Some of them were like Cameron Diaz. I don't think she disappeared. She just, unfortunately for a lot of female actresses, they just kind of stopped losing their roles.
Like Drew Barrymore and all those kind of girls. You know,
their roles just kind of go away. This is one that is kind of interesting.
Douglas Quaid.
Is that what his name?
Yeah.
No, there you go. Quaid.
Okay,
you had it right.
Sorry.
Okay, and this is from Yardbarker. 25 stars who walked away from the limelight. Gene Hackman, the Olsen twins.
They're into fashion, though. They're still around. They're big time fashion people. And
Yeah, but they're not actresses.
Every time I see them, they look more anorexic, which is weird.
It is crazy how skinny they
So
can look.
gross.
This one is, I think, probably one that most people knew, and that is Phoebe Cates. She was the heartthrob of the 80s because of, was it Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
Yeah. That is the movie.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it's the scene everybody knows. Coming out of the pool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's hot.
Rick Moranis, talking about Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything after Home Alone or like Richie Rich.
Yeah.
I don't.
But he walked
got
away.
into drugs and stuff too.
Yeah, he
crazy.
had one of those rough child actor histories. Amanda Bynes, Emilio Estevez, I guess.
Mighty Ducks.
JTT. I don't know who Sid Barrett is. Oh, the leader of Pink Floyd, I guess. Meg White from Jack White and the White Stripes.
Never saw that.
No. She was the drummer. The White Stripes, remember the band?
Nope.
Oh, yes, you do. Seven Nation Army. I'm going to Wichita.
I think. I mean, maybe.
Down.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you 100%.
Yeah, I don't know the.
It's literally in every. She's his sister.
It's every war. So every like. Isn't it in like Forrest Gump? Is that the same song?
No.
I don't know what. I don't know. Anyway.
No, yeah. There's a whole bunch of those. Let's see if there's another name on here that I actually recognize. There's a whole lot of like, Daft Punk. You remember their moment?
No.
There's a lot of. You don't remember Daft Punk, the band? Or I should say the group. I should say.
No.
A whole lot of artists, like musical artists, on here that I'm like, I don't know that many people.
Sean Connery.
Yeah, that's what I said. Sean Connery just walked away. Dave Chappelle has reemerged, but do you remember when he disappeared? Like he walked away from Chappelle's show, and nobody even knew where he went. He just
wonder where
left.
they go.
He went to Africa.
Of course.
Yeah, but I mean, he went back to like just get away from all of it because he was. I don't know. I guess he was just done with everything about it. Even though Chappelle's show was like a cultural phenomenon at the time.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, but would you call him much of a big actor? He was more like a
Jessica Biel. Married JT and has kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And she was so hot in Summer Catch.
To me, those ones are
Made me
like
want to play baseball.
to me, they're like CW stars.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't call them like huge stars. Like to me, Chris Tucker, Rush Hour is one of the biggest movies of the year. Rush Hour 2 is one of the best sequels ever.
It was so good.
And then Rush Hour 3 was okay. And then done. Then done. Just gone. Anyway. All right, dude. You got anything else?
No.
Let's see. I think we pretty much covered
Jack
most of it.
Gleason, Rip Torn.
Oh, Rip Torn. Yeah, he was. Oh, dude, Rip Torn's from Dodgeball.
Yeah.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball.
It's probably the last movie he made.
Yeah, it probably was because he died relatively young. I want to say he died in like his 60s or 70s, which to me, if you're dying in your 60s, you're young. Dying in your 70s, you're young.
My parents didn't make it to barely 64.
See, that's young, man.
Alcohol.
Well,
Alcohol and body abuse over the years. Smoking, whatever it was.
Last one, actually did want to say this just because, and this is another grievance of mine, and I wrote it down here as something I want to talk about in the sports section, but since we're not going to do it, I'm just going to say this. One of the things that bothers me most when people give sports like predictions or if they're going to analyze the upcoming season, they always say, well, if this team stays healthy, of course, we all know that.
World.
Yes, but injuries are a part of it. You can't just say, if healthy, I'll be right. No, that's not the way it works. We all understand that players are going to get hurt. Look at the 49ers. You start the season knowing Christian McCaffrey's going to get hurt. So put that into your guess, your analysis, like your estimate. It's got to include the fact that these guys get hurt. And the reason why I say this is because people always talk about I remember it was specifically this was recently about the Phoenix Suns and about the Dallas Mavericks. Well, if they were healthy, they'd be the best team. No, they're not. Because guess what? Bradley Beal never plays. So you can't say if healthy. We know we might get 50 games out of him. That's it. Plan that in. And with the Dallas Mavericks, with the if healthy, well, if you get Anthony Davis, if he's healthy, he's one of the best. He's never healthy. Yeah. So factor that in. He's never healthy.
If I won the Powerball, I'd be rich.
Yeah. Yes. Right? It's that level of analysis
so
to me. It's
dumb.
like, dude, you can't just say, well, if the healthy, everyone gets hurt. It's sports. It just bugs me to no end because it's like a way of like cushioning when you're wrong. Well, I said if they were healthy, but they're not.
But they were
and you
never.
didn't take that into consideration. But for example, you know what happened today? Horrible news for the Diamondbacks. And not because this player was going to do anything on the field. Jordan Montgomery tore his UCL. He will be out. And we owe him $22.5 million this year. Okay?
Which is nothing in baseball, I've learned.
Still quite a bit. I mean, he gets paid. He's one of the highest paid players on the team. Let's just say that. Okay? So it's still quite a bit of money. In baseball, obviously, salaries can, they range vastly between that spectrum. But the worst part about it, we can't trade him now. We are on the books. That's money we have to pay him. And he was a guy they've been trying to trade since the end of last year.
How did you just spring training?
I guess. Yeah. The thing about UCL is when you've been pitching.
Tommy John thing?
Yeah, it's Tommy John. Yeah. Ulnar collateral ligament. I think that's what it's called on your elbow. But the reason why I say is you had to factor in that these guys can get hurt. You have to. It happens every single year. It may not be the same guy every year. You may have one guy that's been healthy his whole career. Boom, pops an ACL. Right. I think this is the second time that Kyrie Irving's popped his ACL.
Did you see Juju Watkins?
Yeah, I saw that.
Chick running down. Makes you wonder how it happened. It's one of those weird things. It's always like a non-contact, and a thing that you would never think that's what would happen there. Yeah, right. I
was talking to my buddy who's a physical therapist, and I've been trying to get him on because
one guy.
Yeah, I think he would be great. He's got a great personality, really, really smart, easy to talk to, fun guy. But anyway, so I was asking him. He did his dissertation on ACL injuries. And he said, all the data we poured over, national data, local data, came to find out there's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes it just happens. There's no thing you can point to say, this is why you tore a ligament.
This is how we prevent it.
This is how we prevent it. It's more like, hey, you know what? It just happens. Yeah. Which is really discouraging. Because it's so you mean I can't strengthen it this way? No, it's a ligament. It's not a muscle. You don't strengthen a ligament.
Wonder if you're more so genetically, if you're just predisposed to be more likely to tear an ACL versus not.
Yeah. I think with my limited knowledge, it's probably more the case because you have certain guys that, one example I use is Adrian Peterson came back from a torn ACL faster than any human being known on earth to almost shatter a single season rushing record. That has to be genetics.
Oh, yeah.
Or some really good undetectable drugs.
Steroids.
Yeah, so
we call it genetics.
Yeah. But at the same time, you have lots of other guys like Frank Gore, who was an NFL running back for what seemed was 20 years and never got hurt. Never. And he was a freaking workhorse. Too. Yeah. That guy got 20 carries a game at the end of his career. Ugh. But then you have other guys, 2 carries, boom, career's over.
It's the ones that don't run uphill. They run laterally that get themselves hurt when they're trying to dance around.
But, dude, Barry Sanders never got hurt. Any play in the era was freaking brutal.
He pisses me off. Every time we talk about him, I'm like, you know what? You know why? Because why did you just leave, bro? You talk about actors that just disappeared. Why would you just walk away from your career after 10 years?
Hey, I just ask him and Megatron, and I'll give you one answer.
Detroit
Lions.
But dude, Megatron is another one, dude. He was a specimen of a receiver, just human being.
He was a true unicorn.
And he does barely any and is out. Bro, you could have just said no when your contract was up and then went somewhere else. Take a pay cut. But why would you give up being arguably possibly the greatest to receiver ever play the game?
To me, I think he will always go down as the most physically gifted receiver to ever play the game. Not statistically, but when you think of size, speed, agility, strength, leaping ability, hands, that guy was built in a lab.
But DK Metcalf's giving him a run for his money.
But he doesn't have the hands or the height. Right. Megatron's 6'5".
Yeah, but DK Metcalf just eats, jelly beans.
Yes. The thing about DK is you want to talk about physical specimens now, he is without a doubt. And if you were to put them side by side, DK probably has less body fat. He looks more like a bodybuilder. But dude, Megatron, Calvin Johnson was just, like I said, he was unlike any other receiver ever.
He was so, and him, and then Larry Fitzgerald, why would you just bounce and disappear? You didn't even give us a retirement. You didn't give us nothing. I'm not a fan of the Cardinals. I liked Larry. You know why I liked Larry is because he never boasted. He never
classiest receiver of
score a touchdown, hand the ball to the ref. Me scoring is my celebration. I don't need to rub it in your face, right? I don't need to go Terrell Owens and pull this thing out of my sock or grab cheerleading pom-poms or whatever. Cool. It was awesome.
Eat the popcorn.
Very entertaining, but Larry was no, I'm just going to play.
The thing about, when you talk about, it's rare that you ever call a receiver like a lunch pail guy, come to work and do your thing. Larry Fitzgerald was that. Come to work. Don't ever drop a pass. End your career with more tackles than dropped passes. Could you think of a cooler stat to have?
No.
And not just a year-long stat. a 18-year-long career and that's your stat.
But then you don't even give your fans a retirement, like farewell, nothing. You just disappear.
Listen,
your kid's playing at Brophy, and you're not even going to come up and hang out. Like, you don't even show up. You're not even present.
Yeah, dude, it's a bummer. I felt the exact same way about Steve Nash.
Yeah.
When Steve Nash retired, he didn't like. I want to ask him, and he has to be honest. What were the best times of your career? Couldn't have been Dallas.
It was Phoenix.
Definitely wasn't Los Angeles.
2-time MVP in Phoenix.
2-time MVP, and I mean, dude, and just away from multiple finals appearances, and. How come you just like left, just up and gone? Like you retired and went to New York. Like, listen, I understand that that's where you want to live your life type thing, but come on back for more than just a jersey retirement ceremony. You know, like,
yeah,
I don't know.
But we're just normal people that don't live that lifestyle. So maybe it's just too big for them, or it's too much, or maybe it's too emotional, or maybe it's just they don't give a dang because they're better than everybody is what they think. I don't know. I just feel like Larry Fitzgerald still lives here.
I think, yeah. And that's the thing.
Like,
I would love Larry to have a little bit more of a local presence. Like, pop up on the local radio station every once in a while. You know, give some analysis on what you think of going on at ASU.
Officially retire.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, we all know he's officially retired.
But come out and say, hey, listen, I've been devoted to my family, but I am not coming back for sure. Because, like, I feel like everybody's like, one of these days he's just going to be in the locker room.
He's going to show up to training camp.
Yep, he's going to just show up because he's still part of the team. And I'm like, bro, just give it up.
I also understand if he's one of those things where it's like, listen, you know, kind of like the way people would look at high school. I'm not going back to high school. I'm done. I'm not showing back up. I'm not going back for the reunions. It's over me. Yeah. Like, I'm finished. Like, my 20-year reunion is this year. And one of the suggestions was that we go to like a high school football game and they will shout us out. I'm like, I'm not going.
We did that.
Did you go to the high school football game?
It was because it was a 20-year state championship.
Okay, you want a state championship.
Halftime, they brought us out on the field, and it was crazy. Actually, a lot of us came. There were still some guys missing that were just out of state.
Right.
But I was surprised how much we got to actually show up.
See, but to me, that's completely different than just being the senior class at a football game. Like, dude, to me, I don't know. It's just also one of those things where they say, they come back to the school. I'm like, that's not even our school anymore.
What I don't understand is Arizona kind of sucks. Like, I talk to people that are from other states and they have their like 20-year reunion and they rent out like this banquet. And all this, and it's like a big deal. And I'm like, dude, we couldn't even like, dude, that's what, talking about disappearing. So our student body president was this guy named Adrian Bennett. Yeah. And, like kind of a goofy guy. He was kind of heavier set kid, right? But he was a cool dude, just different, right? Yeah. Dude, he has nobody knows who this guy is. No social media, no nothing. And it's been 21 years. And you're like, bro, and he lost a lot of weight last time I saw him 20 years ago, 15 years ago. But we're always like, whatever happened to him? There was him and another guy. But I grew up with this kid. We went everywhere in high school together. He was just part of our little Vernon crew, right? Yeah. Graduated high school at 17. Didn't turn 18 until October after he graduated. I have not seen him since we graduated. I don't even know what he does. He's got no social media, no nothing. One of my buddies' sisters dated his dad. That was kind of weird for a while. But like she kind of weird. She would kind of know like where he was at, kind of thing. But I don't know if he's married kids. And these are kids that you grew up with from a small town. Like, you knew these kids. Like, you know, just we hung out every weekend together for 3 years, and he just up and disappeared. And now I'm like, I heard he works in hotel management. I've heard all this other, but I haven't. You can't search him.
Yeah, dude, that's weird. That's weird to not have any digital footprint in today's era.
Nothing, bro. Like, I'm like, what are you using as what are you using as your name? Have you started it from the beginning with some random name that you thought 20 years from now I'm not going to want people to know where I'm at? So
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Like, it's funny how we got into that from Larry Fitzgerald. Give us the final say. Say goodbye, Larry.
Yeah, come on, Larry.
Say goodbye.
Come back.
Don't breathe.
Breed.
Fantastic.
The JJ and Pug Show theme song is written, composed, and performed by Lane Hartman. Thank you to Highland Communities for the support of our show. You can find the JJ and Pug Show on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and anywhere you listen to your podcast. Just Google us if you're confused. Remember to share the show with your friends and family. Subscribe wherever you listen. Buy a shirt, reach out to us, and place an order. Each shirt is $20, and if we can hand deliver it, we will, but if we have to ship it, it'll be $25. If you're able, feel free to support us by sending a donation to us by going to kfo.com/The JJ and Pug Show. That's ko-fi.com/The JJ and Pug Show. And thanks again to all who listen. We really appreciate your support for our show, and we hope to continue to grow.